I guess. As I said before, I'm not gonna spend as much time as I did before on politics. Just going crazy about that. It's kind of like over the last couple of days, I've had a lot of growth. The last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of growth or something. I don't know. I've just matured and I've developed, and I feel like I'm a bit of a different person. And it happens. That's life. Um, I feel like the Trump era is kind of like the end of an era. You know, I feel like America is kind of moving out of the way, if it will. Like we're going off in a corner to die. Like a cat gets hit by a car, they go off behind a house or something. They die. They don't just lay out in the street and die. No, they go somewhere. You know. Of course, um, it's kind of tragic that the American Empire had to fall. It's the opportune time when the world really needed us. But it is what it is. I feel like this is something that was in the cards. It's kind of like a junkie is going to eventually run out of money. And they're going to, you know what I mean? Like that's the path they take, is a junkie is going to mess up, right? That's to me how I feel about the fact that, Trump downplays everything. That to me, it's not as extreme as you think. And that we were already further right than most folks want to admit. Denying climate change and blaming wildfires. People don't rake up leaves when most of the land in California, that's federal land. You know what I mean? You can't sit up here and be like, well, the government, when you're the president. That's what I guess my thing with Trump is that Trump talks like he's not the president, where like he's like, well, it's someone else's fault. Where it's like it's his job to do certain things, and from day one, he's like, no, we're not going to do those things. Like, to me, it's irresponsible. And it's disgusting. I feel like, as an American, I'm on a ship where there's no one in the wheelhouse. There's no one even on that level of the ship. It's just like, we're on our own. You get your own lifeboat, you know what I mean? Trump is just, but like I said, this to me was always going to happen. The conservative guy that goes in there, big talking and big stepping, and just says, well, we're going to just destroy the government. And we're going to make the government not work properly. And we're going to make it to where when this pandemic hits, we want to have the numbers directly to us and not go through the CDC because we can't control that. I mean, it's just like the stuff Trump does, to me, it is so blatantly corrupt. And now we're hearing about hysterectomies. A lot of them being done at these ICE facilities. And I'm wondering if, what's so bad about it is, if there was some kind of scientific testing being done on Mexican women, I wouldn't even blink. That's to me how I see Trump, how I see the American government right now. We're the bad guys. And like I said, it's just, to me, this was something that was always going to happen. This is something that is totally natural when you think about it. The idea of a conservative just saying, look, I don't believe in any of this stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't believe in this. It's like police pulling me over. Like, well, did you know you have? No, I did not know that. You knew you had a warrant? No, I didn't know that. Well, did you know? No, I don't know any of that. This car is stolen. No, like that's what Trump is. Like he's just like deny, 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 deny. It's just that's it. I mean, you know what I mean? That's it. And I'm surrounded by people who are so hateful and so vicious that they support him no matter what. It's a cult. Even if they like the stuff he does, that's still all cult stuff. It is. Whether you like it or not, that's all cult stuff. That's just what it is. I don't know what could have been done to prevent this. I mean, to me, America's lost. We're lost in so many ways, and we're so divided, and it's just like, we're not gonna go back. I mean, in some ways it's good because I guess there's more awareness of certain things because of the pandemic, but in other ways, we're never going to recover from this. You know it, and I know it as well. And That's tragic. It's like the protests when I see black folks burning stuff. It's so sad because in the end, black people pay for that. Some of those businesses get burned down when these riots happen. These businesses never come back to the communities. Never. And many of these businesses are privately owned. They're small people's businesses, and you wreck them, they never come back. And then it's also like that specter that stays over the community, that because that happened, maybe we don't want to build in black communities. Maybe, it just, I don't know. I just feel like all this was bound to happen eventually. That this is the conservative way. It's like a guy said the other night that when it comes to conservatives, there's no new philosophy. There's no new ideas in conservatism. It's all about, denying issues, denying problems. Everything is the individual's fault. Everything is your fault. You deserve everything that happens to you. It's all about a world that's more cruel and a world that's more vicious, and it's not really it's not a philosophy of solving problems. Conservatism. It's not. It never was. It never will be. And it's just to me, it's why I've never really been speaking on Trump and speaking on these things, because it is really disgusting. It's tragic and it's sad to know that that's just where we're at now, that we're going to just deny climate change. It just doesn't exist. I don't care about the science. It doesn't exist. We're not going to do anything about it. And something I always tell people is climate change is a global effort. It's a global problem. It requires a global solution. If you get a president like Trump in there, who's just like, we're going to destroy government, destroy our government regulations, let the corporations run free. And that president is, just lying and all this kind of stuff on a regular basis. And you're getting ready to, they're talking, every time I look, they're talking about a war with China in the next 20 years. These are like, it's kind of like if I wanted to build a hospital or build something in the black community and there's like a gang war about to start. It's just like, this is not conducive to creating something that would help people, but that's not signs of that. Like if a person, what I'm trying to say to you, like this is signs of we're going towards another world war. And these a guy commented on my video, he's like, well, Trump just ended the Iraq war. The Afghanistan war, I don't believe that. That's going to go on for quite a while. I don't believe that. I just realized this is an empire, that America is not the America of World War II where we're like, go over there, we come home. Like, no. And if Trump did bring the troops home, it's going to go somewhere else. It's not like, from what I understand, that bringing them home, that's talking about demobilizing the military. Like what happened with the Clintons, like where you had bases closed. Bases were closed. You had less military people. You had a reduction of forces, and you have things like that. That's not what Trump's talking. That's not what we're talking about here. Where we're like, okay, we're going to have less military. We're going to take funding from that. We're going to defund it. No, that's not what we're talking about doing. Not at all. I think you know that. They're just going to move the troops to Syria or something like that. That's all that'll happen. They move the tanks somewhere else. This empire, it's and part of me is like, I don't want this stuff. I want the empire to collapse. I don't want the empire to reform. I want it to collapse. And sometimes when I watch this stuff, it's like watching a movie, because that's how I feel. I'm like, I know when I made a video about Trump talking about the soldiers, I'm like, yeah, that's how rich white men whose daddies are in the Klan think about working class people. Why would you expect otherwise? You think Trump cares about working class people? Trump don't give a damn if you can, I can shoot a gun and I can shoot a gun and wear this spiffy uniform. I can do 100 push-ups and I can run a mile. That shit don't mean nothing. Don't mean a goddamn thing. The man burned through $1 billion in a decade. They don't tell you something. Ooh, I can shoot a rifle from I can shoot a rifle and hit that target 300 feet away, and I can do this, and I can shoot a sniper, and I can shoot a pistol, and I can drive a tank. That shit means nothing. It means nothing to people like him. Nothing. He can't even understand that. Like he said, what's in it for you? It's nothing in it for you. You know, I don't want to go back into that again, but I just feel like we're at the end of an era as far as Republican government, Republican politics go. I don't know what the future lies. I mean, I seen a picture last night on my Facebook feed of they were comparing California, like the orange skyline and stuff, to Blade Runner, and it's pretty damn similar. It's kind of scary to me how so much of sci-fi in the 50s and the 60s, they got it right. They got it right. But it wasn't like one of them got it all right. It's like each one of them, I think I read one of them, they had tablets. It's like in the 60s to my having that tablets and stuff. And then to my Blade Runner with the sky being all messed up like that. Minority Report, I ain't got to go into that. We living in that world now. You know, it's like they all got bits and pieces of the future right and wrong. And Contagion. That wasn't a futuristic movie, but, you know. Anyway, peace out.